Good evening, everyone. This is Yuri, aka Russian Prototype. It's Monday, September 20th. We are live tonight. I'm excited. I'm always excited to talk to you and to do these live shows. But tonight, I'm excited because I really like the topic tonight. Tonight's topic is how to prevent boredom in a relationship. Now, I don't know about you, but I've noticed some boring relationships in my day from my own perspective and from an outsider perspective as well, just kind of absorbing what other people are going through in their relationship. So it's a relevant topic to discuss. And tonight, I would like to ultimately answer the question whether boredom is a state of mind and would like to discuss what it takes to prevent boredom in a relationship. That's really my goal for tonight's live show. So, before we get started, let's see who's in the house tonight because we have some people over here tonight. Hello, Heather. First, again, yes, you are. I love it. Thanks for hanging out with us live. We have Bianca Allen. Hi, Bianca. Jamie is here again, driving. Be careful driving. Defensive driving. Both hands on the wheel. We have Kaya in the house. Hello, hello from New Zealand. We have Ruby in the house as well. Appreciate you joining. I know it's late in UK right now. It's awesome to see every single one of you here. So I think first, I was looking at definition of boredom. Let me actually connect my other monitor. I didn't even have enough time to do this. I was running around kind of in a hurry today. So I'm going to connect my other monitor and I want to show you. I'm going to show it to you. You're going to see my wire. I'm going to show you what I've seen and deem interesting because the definition of it made me think of something else that I haven't thought about previously. Okay. And I would like to share this with you. Give me just a moment. I hope you can still see me. All right. So I'm going to share this screen really quickly. And I'm going to show you what I'm seeing. Here we go. All right. So when I Google what is boredom, a couple of things came up. And right here, if you click this, it goes to it brings up healthline.com. Now, I'm not familiar with this website, so take it with a grain of salt. Okay, I don't know how legitimate this website is, but what it says, boredom is marked by empty feeling as well as sense of frustration. With that emptiness, when you are bored, you may have a limited attention span and lack of interest in what's happening around you. So you may feel apathetic, fatigued, nervous, or jittery. And that made me think that like some of these words that they use to describe limited attention span and feeling apathetic, fatigued, and nervous. It made me think that like this might go beyond just personal preference, right? This could be in certain cases, could it be borderline like a physical type of consideration, physical condition that some people are battling with, and I want to make it very clear that we're not talking about that tonight, okay? Because again, I'm sure that some individuals, there's going to be a percentage of people who are going to be dealing with some symptoms beyond to what conventional boredom would be thought of. All right. And again, I just want to make sure that that is not what that's not the direction we're going to go with tonight. One thing I wanted to start with, all right, now that we got that out of the way, I want to talk about kind of responsibility induced boredom versus voluntarily boredom. And we're going to get into relationship aspect of things in just a moment. But as I was reading a couple of these things, it made me also realize that sometimes people get bored because they are in a different environment. What I mean by responsibility induced boredom is things like such as school. Maybe you're in class that you're not particularly enjoying, or maybe you are at work and you're doing a job that really doesn't mean a whole lot to you. So you kind of going, you doze off, right? They say I'm dozing off. So you kind of going into this state of induced boredom because you're not really engaged in the activity that you're currently doing at the time, right? So it actually makes a lot of sense because I think most of us have been in those type of situations at some point in our life. Whereas versus, I mean, voluntarily boredom, whereas maybe we're sitting at home and we're just bored out of our mind, right? It's not like we can be doing something else or we have to be bored, but we're just bored. There's nothing else we're doing at the time. Our mind just wanders, and we feel that feeling of boredom, right? So I wanted to make that distinction. And then, of course, we got to talk about relationship boredom because that's what really we're going to focus on today. Relationship boredom, from my personal perspective, is like maybe being in a house with your significant other, and you just kind of feel bored of a person sometimes. You feel like maybe you've been doing the same activities, maybe you got into in the same type of routine that you always do. You feel maybe no novelty, no excitement, no joy. And once you get to a point where you feel no joy, it's kind of like this, I don't want to say dangerous territory, but it's not a good place to be in, because then at that point is it's you're not only bored, you start feeling other things. You start feeling like, man, there's got to be more to this relationship, right? It's like something is lacking, something is missing in the relationship. And I think boredom can be a big part of it. So the question comes in, the next question is, what couples lack? What do they lack? And I came up with 3 C's. Okay, this is just my opinion. I would like to hear your ideas about this concept, but this is what I came up with. I think the couples lack creativity, curiosity, and capability. Okay. Creativity, because creative people always find things to do. They always find things to do. Find they make regular activities fun. They make trip to a grocery store an experience. Whereas people who are not creative, they will always find a reason why things are boring. You know? Secondly, curiosity is a big thing that they lack in, because when you're curious, you always seem to be looking for something to do. You always seem to be interested in things. And when you're curious, when you're interested in things, you can actually put yourself in situations that will allow you to destroy boredom altogether, right? And then capability, it's simply one of those things to where sometimes you know what to do, sometimes you just got to force yourself to do it. You're capable of doing it. There's nothing really preventing you from doing it as a couple, taking a trip out of town, going to the beach one day. You're capable of doing it. You have a car, you have gas in the car, you know you're young, you're physically able, you're capable of doing that. There's just, you got to make yourself do that. So one of you got to be able to organize that. One of you got to be able to propose it and take initiative with it, and then you just got to make this trip happen. Simple as that. Is that simple? So I think we got to keep in mind what we lack in those relationships where boredom ends up being a factor. Next very important factor to discuss is what couples can do. Okay? And here I want to showcase 3 E's. So we have 3 C's for what couples are lacking, and we have 3 E's for what couples can do. And 3 E's are education, entertainment, and encouragement. And these 3 E's actually very important to me. They're very near and dear to my heart because this is how I try to position my YouTube channel. That's how I try to position my brand. This is my anchor, or anchors rather. It's education, entertainment, and encouragement. And so when I say education, it's anything and everything involving self growth, personal growth. And health and fitness will be part of it. Watching some educational movies or documentaries will be part of it. You know, taking a field trip to learn something about oceans and marine life, perfect example of it. Next, we have entertainment. Entertainment, I mean, these are obvious examples: movies, music, travel. Even if we're going to just take 3 of those, music, movies, and travel, each of these is like a world of its own. You can get lost in each individual, uh, each one of these factors, each one of these examples, right? And that's just scratching the surface. How would you like to be entertained? What both of you enjoy doing together that would keep you entertained? Some people do pranks. Some people do some, funny things with their families. You know, some getaways. What are some of the things that really really entertain you? Some people stay on social media all day, but social media I wouldn't recommend that much because I think it's a social media, it's one of those things to where too much of it will feel like that you cannot stop it, right? There is no logical end point. Like you can be on Facebook indefinitely. You can be on Instagram and TikTok indefinitely. There's nothing stopping you, and there's not enough time. Your lifetime will be not enough to consume all the content. So you can literally just scroll and allow videos to come up, and you will just sit there days on end, and it will never end. So that's why I think you also need to be careful with your entertainment and how you choose to entertain yourself, because that could be a huge waste of time. So this could be a downfall, right? And then of course encouragement. So what I mean by encouragement is that you can first of all uplift your partner. You can be encouraging to your own partner, your own significant other, right? You can be that person to say, hey, let's do something. You can initiate, right? Secondly, you can make a difference in the community. Encouragement doesn't mean just literally talking to your partner, just encouragement. Encouragement stands for being able to impact, and you can make a difference in the community some way, somehow. Many people volunteer. Many people engage in clubs, in the community clubs. Many people support a cause. If none of these things, sound good to you, you can start a YouTube channel as a couple, and you can encourage people what to do in a relationship, or you can go completely different directions. Doesn't have to be everything about relationships. You can talk about your hobbies, your passions, your area of expertise, whatever it may be, but you can give something back to the world as a couple, and that can be a fun little project for both of you. Or you can talk about how both of your worlds not collide, but how you mesh both of your worlds as a couple, and how, even though regardless of your differences, how you making it work. You can talk about that journey. Now imagine how incredible impactful that could be for some couples who are going to discover your YouTube channel potentially, right? Who's going to be listening to that and getting some ideas and advice directly from maybe something that they experiencing, but they will be listening to you, what you've already gone through and how you've handled that, right? So encouragement is huge. So this is just This is just easy way to remember for what couples can do. 3 E's: education, entertainment, and encouragement. And each one of these could be its own world, literally. Next, it's all sound well and good, some of you might say, but so what things can we do together? Maybe next logical question, you know? So I just came up with a couple of examples, because obviously theory is great, but what about practice? How can we put all those things into practice? And it's all about solutions, right? If we're going to talk about theory, I am all about practical philosophy. That is maybe, a term that I'm going to coin when it's all said and done. Take it to the bank. Practical philosophy. That's what we're talking about. How can we take these um, concepts and how can we put them into practice, right? So, a couple of examples that we can do. We can do movie night Tuesday. We can do sunset Thursday. We can do farmers market Saturday. And the list goes on. These are just few examples, right? Movie night Tuesday, bring the tacos, combine both. Shoot, make it Monday night Monday movie night. MMT. Whichever floats your boat. If you want to go with Monday, go with Monday. Go if you want to combine it with Taco Tuesday, do Taco Tuesday. Sunsets. I don't care if you live in Kansas. You can find a place over there where you can still see a sunset. And doesn't matter where you at. I can tell you that in Illinois or Midwest, they have some beautiful sunset. If you have any type of appreciation for nature, get your partner out. Go somewhere where you can see the sun set together and enjoy that moment together. That could be your Thursday night. All you need is half an hour to do that. Right? And then every Saturday you can go to farmers market near you. Farmers market is a great time. It's a great time because you're going to get some fresh produce. You're going to meet people in the community. They're usually pretty down to earth too. Those seem to be individuals who like to be out and about, who thinking about their health. And it's cool to be out in the community, to see people actually who are in your community, not just some social media people that really don't exist in real life. Those are real individuals, real people that you're going to meet. Let's see what the prototype family is saying. We have Carrie in the house. Hello, Carrie. Thank you for being here. What a good subject. I agree. We also have Jessica in the house. Hi, Jessica. Looks like Felicia is in the house. Hi, Felicia. Looks like Becky is in the house. Hello, Becky. Jamie said, I only know you have to actively search out things to do and have fun with. Actively search out things. That's the key. It's the key point there. It's not like, it's what's interesting. People act as if once they get in a relationship, they arrived. I think we talked about it before, but it's funny to me. It's like, okay, I got him, I got her, I'm good. Now I can sit on the couch. The things will just happen, like the heavenly manna, will just be will lower and will bless us. And all of a sudden, things just will start happening. We will just start floating to these amazing, community events and things to do, and we'll never be bored again. No, like things not going to happen that way. If you've been blessed with your partner, you're still going to have to do the work. You're still going to have to figure out what's going on and what you can do. And some of the things that I mentioned, they are simple things in nature. They really easy to do. Hold on. My mom just sent me a text. I got to respond. One moment. So, actively search out things that both of you can do. I like that word. Felicia said, getting into a routine where you do the same thing all the time, that's a big problem. You know, um, I would say it depends on the routine. You know, if you're routine exercising together every day, if you're routine like going to enjoy the nature, if you're routine like, doing some of the active things to where you both come back home and just like, okay, like we're done. We had a great day. Like we're both tired. We both feel like, emotionally charged. We feel fulfilled. Um, we feel physically tired, all of those things, right? If you have that kind of routine, fine. If you're talking about actually not fine, great, great. If you talk about a situation where you just becoming couch potatoes and nothing happening, there is no motion in the ocean, no motion in the ocean, then it's, I think, part of it too, some people might be listening to this and say like, man, what are you talking about? Sitting on the couch is, it's Gucci, it's great. But you know what? Then why people feel bored? Why do people feel bored doing that stuff? I think somewhere internally, we feel like we feel or we know that there's more to life. And even though maybe we did not have role models that could show that to us in our own life, or maybe we didn't have opportunities to do that, but I think internally our intuition still there, and our intuition still tells us, hey, you can do better, you can do something more fulfilling, something more joyful with your life. I think that's part of it. Felicia said, I'm more of a thrill seeker type. I will do almost any and everything at least once in life. Bungee cord jumping. Is that on the menu, Felicia? Oh, I think you said that. Wow, I didn't even see this comment. I have bungee jump before when I graduated high school. Well, that's definitely one of those thrill seeker activities that I not going to do. Not going to do it. So you let me know how it goes. Take some pictures, take some videos, share it in your story. I will give you likes and everything, but won't be joining you there. Elvia Martinez, hi, how are you today? Thank you for joining us live. Appreciate you. Felicia said, scariest thing I have done, but it was fun. Nice. I don't do things that could possibly cause instantaneous death. I keep it safe. Um, Bungee jump is, I wouldn't say it's safe. So there's a bit of a clash. There's a bit of a clash there. Please explain. Jamie said, I'm a huge fan of jumping in the car for a short road trip, photo app, or that road look fun. Let's detour. Yeah, I love road trips. I'm a big fan of road trips. Road trips just fun. You get to experience. For one thing, I love the scenery. So when I think even since when I was super little, I love to just be taking like a little train and going visiting some like my family in a different part of town, because I always would just look out the window and enjoy the city views or the scenery or whatever it is. So I really enjoy that part of it. And then with the car, you can stop anytime, right? So you can be passing something interesting, and you can decide, let's check it out, let's stop, and that will make the trip worthwhile. Additionally, what's really interesting, one of my friends, I think he ended up buying a van and remodeled a van so he can have like a bed and TV inside the van and everything. And that made me think of RV. How cool would it be, maybe when you're ready to retire, or when you, even people I think now start doing it when they work remotely, because more and more people work remotely nowadays. And I think some people, as long as they have internet connection, they end up jumping in an RV, traveling to different states. I mean, today, they could be in Florida, tomorrow they in North Carolina in the mountains, in a few days they in New York. I mean, that's the coolest thing ever. If you can get your work done, still have accommodations, that's amazing. Another great thing about RVs, I love nature, but I'm not about tent life. I've seen the videos where wild animals, sniff around the tent. I've seen the videos where wild animals attack people. I love the idea of being out in the nature, but I love the idea of having shelter and convenience of conventional life. And I think RV really a happy medium for me. So I would love to be in the nature. I still can watch the stars from the RV or even outside, but sleep inside with the shelter to be protected from, everything else that nature has to offer. So I love that very, very much. The idea of being really out in the nature, but still have those conveniences, shower, you know, kitchen, and all of those other things inside the RV. I think that's really an incredible kind of compromise, if you will, if you can afford it. Let's see. Becky said, usually if things start getting stagnant, I'll suggest we go to new places or do things we used to do when we first started dating. Yeah, so this is a good idea because look, this is easy to do, right? This is easy, and I like the language that you use, Becky. I'll suggest. So it doesn't, like nobody needs to be pushy, in my opinion, but you can kind of pull the person along with you, right? Like, hey, how about that? How about we do that? Do you remember how we used to go to our favorite spot when we were dating? Because when you start dating, you still trying to you trying to, I mean, impress is could be the word, right? But you're trying to make someone, you're trying to present yourself from the best possible side. You're trying to present yourself as someone who is a well-rounded person, right? And you're trying to give your date a good experience. And when you do that, I think in the beginning people tend to go extra mile. People tend to try a little bit harder, right? And then with time, that feeling kind of goes away. So to Becca's point, how can we keep that feeling? How can we continue on with this mindset of doing things that we did in the beginning that really made our initial dates so interesting, so enticing, so enjoyable? This is relatively easy. Not easy, but simple. It's just simply taking the time to do these things together, right? And suggestion in, as Becky put it, I would suggest to we go to new places. Suggestion is a great thing. And I to be honest with you, I appreciate that a lot when, you know my date or my girlfriend takes initiative to do something. Now I realize too, the more time went on, I think in the relationship, like if I had a relationship right now, I realized I would need to take a lot more initiative. I think when I was younger, it wasn't necessarily always there. But, you know, especially for guys, I want to encourage all the guys, take the initiative. Take the initiative to lead, take the initiative to propose, to do things, be active in that regard. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but give me your comment. Would you appreciate a guy who takes initiative to plan things, to plan dates, and to try to create some meaningful experiences. Give me a comment. Would you appreciate a guy like that? Felicia said, talking about now, I don't do it. I have a kid now, so no crazy stuff. Makes sense. Makes sense. Kaya, I love road trips where you know where you will be sleeping, but you can detour, stop, do, etc. Overnight stops no more than 4 hours away, so you get to have all day being spontaneous. So Kaya, we know dream one day is to be in New Zealand, rent maybe RV or like a vehicle and just drive through both islands. So how much time? I looked the other day. I was just curious. Sometimes I look on Google Maps just for a heck of it, and the distance of the island, I think I was looking at southern I think I was looking at the southern island. The distance of the even southern island across is significant. It's not like small. I thought it was smaller, so it will take some time to drive through, but I think it'll be so worth it. So need a little bit of time to do that, but it'd be an amazing trip to take. Becky, it depends on the person. One I was with also shared an interest in history. We would go to lots of interesting places periodically. Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing. When you have somebody, when you date somebody who is interested in particular things, you can draw from that, right? Somebody who's interested in history, you can go to some historic museums or historic sites. Somebody who's interested in music, you can go to music festivals. You can go to different venues, right? Also some music museums and stuff like that, and just enjoy music together in a different way. So I mean, like, the sky's the limit. That's why I was saying curiosity and creativity are things that people normally lack, the ones that really complain about boredom. Jamie said, getting a pop-up camper is one of my goals. Super easy to hold and set up, can go almost anywhere. Nice. Kai said, come to New Zealand, you can go bunny jumping and steal the camping van to traveling. That you literally just read my mind there, Kaya. I don't know about bunny jumping. I don't know what that is. I have to look that up, but definitely camping van. Camping van in New Zealand. I mean, like, just the thought of that camping van in New Zealand. Like, it's one thing to be there, to fly there to Auckland, I think. Is it? Hold on, did I pronounce it right? I want to do justice. I think it's Auckland is the capital. Auckland, yeah. So it's one thing to fly to Auckland and just hang out around the city, um, but it's completely different to rent a van and to actually drive all over that island. Because when you drive, you're going to see so much more, right? You're going to see these road trips, especially on the islands, right? Because on the islands, the landscape is going to change more rapidly. I mean, you're probably going to see a little bit more as opposed to seeing somewhere like in the middle, right? If you go somewhere, what state can I pick on? Whatever, Midwest, pick Midwest state, flat state. You're going to drive for a while, it's going to be similar landscape. I think it's not the same with the islands. You can go on the islands and really experience a lot of things. And just thinking of that van in the New Zealand, oh god, that is just makes me excited even just thinking about it. That is just a thought of that, right there. I can feel it. Here we go. DM, thanks for being here. Hi, everyone. It's 3 o'clock in the AM here in Europe, so we'll only follow part of the stream. Interesting topic that we'll watch later. Thank you so much for jumping on. We appreciate you very, very much. I know it's not easy to do when because of the time difference and when it's so late where you at. Speaking of which, are you in Netherlands? DM, remind me, are you in Netherlands or where you at in Europe? Or is it Turkey? Is it Turkey or Netherlands? Or neither? Kai, we'll be back. Have to jump into team meeting for half an hour. Sounds good. Thank you so much for joining. Becky said, another one I dated liked checking out haunted places. So we did that when we got bored. Now, this one, Becky, you know, I have to really think about that one. Not so sure. But hey, more power to you. I think once again, it goes to show that the sky's the limit. I think you are also like more adventurous, I think, than I am. I think I'll be cautious about some places, but I'd say if you're willing to do it, do it. If you're willing to do it, do it. You can always do your research and see if there's a real danger. But if not, go for it. Oh, DM Germany. Okay, got it. I was off. I thought it was either Netherlands or Turkey, but appreciate that. My brothers live in Germany. My half brothers, so I actually got some pictures from the middle one today. So it was cool. Kai said, my daughter and I did a road trip in early April along the Bay of Plenty in Hawke's Bay. It was magical. Oh my God. I bet it was. I bet it was. There's some of these places. Bay of Plenty. It sounds so amazing. It sounds like paradise on earth, you know. I'm just imagining the landscapes. DM, I love it when men take the initiative lead. Here we go. Yes to men planning activities, dates. Yes, I would appreciate a guy who plan dates, but so few men I have met ever do. I would appreciate a man taking the initiative to plan something. It's something he knows I have interest in or like. He gets extra points. Felicia, I would love when a man plans things for us to do. I usually had to plan the majority of the things with the last. Listen, fellas, if any of you watching, or if any of you going to be watching later, or if any of you going to be watching it in 50 years or 100 years, if we're still around, human beings, if dating is still relevant, if people don't reproduce by robots or some other crazy stuff, whichever time you're going to watch it, look, this goes to show a little bit of planning will go a very, very long way, and ladies will appreciate that. Okay, so you're going to get some points for that. You also can create experiences that you are interested in, for one thing, and you can showcase it in your own unique way, right? So I really think that for one thing, that for all the men, that I can see how some men can be intimidated by the fact that, like, what if the date does not go well? What if she doesn't like that? So maybe some guys trying to play it safe, let's just go out to eat, which is, look, it's fine. You can go out to eat any other day, but taking a chance in creating an experience doesn't have to be expensive or anything out of this world. Experience just means that you're going to show that woman something interesting, maybe a place she've never seen before, or maybe an activity that she've never did before, or something unique, something unique maybe that she doesn't know, and you can introduce her to that thing. And it's all about experiences. So I just want to encourage all the men, regardless when you're going to see this, or all the women, to pass it to the man, share it with the man, this message. It's time. It's time to do it. It's time to, not to be afraid to lead. Because if you're afraid to lead, then, you're going to end up either dating with, someone who's going to take the lead all the time. And that could create, if you deem yourself a leader, that could create some interesting situation later on. And I think if you assert yourself right from the beginning, you can really win a woman over, and you can create some amazing, memorable experiences with that person for your both future. So it's important how these things are approached from the beginning. So thank you all for your feedback. Felicia said, see, I like an array of different things, like going to plays, orchestra, ensembles, operas. My exes, except for one, never really liked that. Nice. Nice. Yeah, those are really interesting stuff to do. Those things, bring a lot of kind of joy into regular life. If I'm going to assume that, we just living day after day working same stuff over and over again, this can really brighten our week, you know so most definitely. You actually, as I read this, I kind of miss operas. Now I kind of want to go and see what's going on, if anybody visiting my town, if I can go to any opera. Ruby, I would appreciate a guy taking an initiative in planning something special. I plan things that a person specific. I plan things that a person specific, and that would be nice for a guy to do the same. Nice. Reproducing robots. Yeah. Yeah, that's in the future. That's in the cards. Becky, I think one of the best planned dates was when he took me to a place in the mall where I could build my teddy bear because they knew I loved bears. I was so happy. Nice. So actually, how about this? I like this. How about tomorrow we're going to talk about how to make a date a truly special experience. If you like this idea, please give me hashtag yes. If you would like to hear tomorrow how to make at any date a truly special experience, give me hashtag yes. I need to plug in my laptop. I forgot to put a charge it. Give me just a second. I think we're good to go. I think we're good to go. I think we're good to go. Yes, we are. Okay, wonderful. I'm glad that my laptop actually shows this to me. I was like, yes, something is missing. Now it makes sense. All right. So it looks like prototype fam is in favor. So I'm going to write it down. How to make any date, right? Let's say any date or a date. We'll say any date. A special experience. I kind of like this. I'm looking forward to this. Kind of like this. Thank you. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Look at these yeses. Heather says yes. Becky says yes. Jamie says yes. Ruby says yes. DM says yes. Wonderful. Any other thoughts? Any other thoughts on how to prevent boredom in a relationship? We discussed what people lack in terms of 3 C's. We discussed what people can do in terms of 3 E's. We gave some special examples of how couples can spice up their weekly activities with movie Tuesday, sunset Thursday, and farmers market Saturday. Anything else that we need to discuss? Tomorrow at 9 p.m., we're going to talk about how to make any date a special experience. All right. Would love to hear some examples from you. So please feel free to hit me up on my Instagram or on my Twitter. You can always send me an email as well. russianprototype@gmail.com. I really can't think of anything else, any other examples to discuss pertaining to preventing boredom. Oh, no, one more thing. One more thing. I did promise something to you that I did not discuss. I promised to answer the question whether boredom is a state of mind. We did discuss what it takes to prevent boredom in a relationship. But the ultimate question is, let me type it in before I go on my final rant. Before I go on my final rant. Here we go. Give me just a second. This one did not make it into the agenda. This is awkward because I gotta reach. All right. So the final question is boredom is a state of mind, particularly when we talk about boredom in a relationship? The answer is yes. It's absolutely is a state of mind, without a doubt. We're not talking about work boredom. We are not talking about induced boredom from school, from any other responsibilities that were not voluntarily chosen. We are talking about relationship boredom. And I want you to think of this. I'm going to give you a couple of things here to ponder, okay? We live in arguably in the best time ever to be alive. I mean, ever. And you know why? Because, especially in America, because we have incredible amount of freedom, because we have an incredible amount of protection. When I say protection, meaning by laws, nobody really can take away things from you unless you did something wrong, right? Unless you broken the law. We live in a time where we see incredible technological advances in various areas, right? Healthcare is being one of them. Our life expectancies is getting longer. Of course, it's maybe not the perfect time to talk about it because we're still in the midst of pandemic, and this pandemic really shook our worlds upside down. I get it. But at the same time, people are not dying from same things that we've been dying before, right? We more protected in terms of our health, right? And we have a lot more ways to protect our health. We also live in a time where information is available within moments to us. And we live at a time where we can do just about anything with one single device, our phone. Now, I don't know about you, but all these things are they're blessings in a way, right? Yes, of course, we see a lot of pain, we see a lot of suffering in the world, but we also a lot more connected, and we get a lot more news from everywhere in the world. We used to be never aware of things that going on, you know, few hundred miles away before television came around. Well, now we can see all the crises in all of the what's the other word I'm looking for? Crisis will do. We can see all the crises around the world, right? What am I getting at? Why am I telling you about this? Because we have opportunities today that we should be grateful for. And a lot of these opportunities that we have, people in US actually and people in Europe can take advantage of. Because a lot of people have cars, a lot of people have means to travel, a lot of people can simply go and make accommodations, go take time, go do things, right? So we have all this technology, we have all these opportunities, yet we have also individuals who will sit around and say that they're bored. If that is not compelling enough for you, then think about how small of a chance it is to actually being born in this world. I've made a video on TikTok that actually the most viral video that I've ever made in my life was on TikTok. It's about 400 trillion in one chance for a human being to be ever born. Whether you believe that, this doesn't have to be the exact number. The point being, um, whether you believe that's the case or not, the chance of you being born in this world is I can't even make it. I can't make that small enough. You're not going to be able to. it's it's ridiculous. It is, yeah, in a way, we're all miracles. So with all that being said, with all of this being said, I mean, we're given this life, and we live in one of the best time to be alive. There's no time to be bored. There's no time to be bored. You can create something for yourself. You can create something for your relationship. You literally can make up things, try things. If they don't work, come back and try something else. I think I'm a firm believer that while you're breathing and while you're here, live a life that you can be proud of. Live a life that you can be interested in. Live a life that you can be joyful of. Joyful of? Life joyful of? Joyful with? Joyful in? Be joyful. I am full of joy, y'all. And it's Monday. You've seen my video. Hello, Monday. Forget it. There's going to be time when things not going to go our way in the relationship personally. Of course there will be. But you got to remember, there's so many people that would die, that would give everything to have what you have. And those people who are less fortunate, chances are they probably not complaining about boredom. They're probably just trying to put food on their table, right? Or, support their family or what have you. Boredom is a state of mind. Again, we're not talking about a medical condition here. If somebody has a medical condition of some sort and boredom is a side effect, this is not what we're talking about. We're talking about boredom in the relationship where people just get to a point where they just say, I'm bored. You know what I'm going to do next time I'm in a relationship? Before I say I'm bored, I'll start playing pranks on my lady. If we're going to get to a point where I'm even going to think about boredom, I'm going to start pranking her. It's going to be a good test because that's going to happen. If we're going to end up together, ultimately, I'm going to be pranking the crap out of her. You got to make it fun. You got to make it fun. If you cannot make a joke, then, you got to have sense of humor. You got to have sense of humor. So that's that. Felicia with this $10 super sticker. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate your support. You and I have been going back and forth on our football teams. We survived the weekend. We're still friends. You're still supporting me. You're still on the live stream. We're still talking. I'm grateful. I'm grateful we made it through, and I'm grateful for you. Thank you. Let's see some comments before we get out of here, shall we? DM, not getting into routine. Even exciting dates will become boring if repeated. For me, it's the unique and unexpected, peppered with some easy and more routine dates. Love it, love it, love it. Jamie said maybe the key to keeping boredom away is spontaneously in dates or life. You know, I actually think there is a lot of value to do both. This is now a great point right here, okay? So, for everyone who is listening, I truly believe that some things need to be planned, right? We talked about having this maybe routine of uh, movie night on one day on Tuesday, sunset on Thursday. Of course, those were just examples, right? Farmers market Saturday. However you want to plan it, doesn't matter. If you have routine, knowing something that or looking knowing that there's going to be a day that you can look forward to, I think it can help. Now, on the other hand, I agree with Jamie. I think it's wonderful to just come back sometimes Monday night home and say, hey, we're going to go out to this cool cupcake place. You like cupcakes? Because you my little cupcake. And we're going to go and have some cupcakes. You my little cupcake. Put the hashtag cupcake in the chat if you like cupcakes, or if you like to be cold, cupcake. All right. Endearment is an endearment. Is an endearment. Take no wrong ideas. All right. As an endearment term. And look, and quite frankly, I think we really need to know our significant other. We need to understand how they operate at least a little bit. Because if somebody likes to be spontaneous and that's what they prefer, then maybe you scratch routine, or maybe you will do one routine things and then two or three spontaneous things. Understand, that's what's beautiful thing about discovery, right? Understanding this person and growing with that person and learning about that person. It doesn't have to be, the plan is flexible. This is a living document, as they say. This SOP, this standard operating procedure, is a living document, which means, yes, we're supposed to be flexible. All right. Becky said, honestly, I don't get bored very much. It's definitely in the mind. Just like when I have had a bad day and make jokes about it. We can turn things around if we want to. Indeed. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Kaya is $3 super sticker. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate your wonderful support. You've been supporting me so much. And I really, really, really appreciate that. Thank you, Kaya. Let's see. DM said, excitement is not dependent on anything constructed. It's simply a way of looking for the extraordinary in the ordinary all around us. That's beautifully put, DM. Beautifully put. Excitement is not depending on anything constructed. You can find excitement in everything or anything. When you walk in your neighborhood and when you enjoy sunset, or when you are hearing birds sing, and when you see beautiful skies, that could be extremely exciting if you open for it. Sometimes the mind can be so clouded with stuff, with work, with what other people think of us, with problems, with what's coming next, everything, right? Sometimes so much so that we not focus, we not notice beautiful things around us. And nature is the most obvious ones. I always look up in the sky. Always. I'm fascinated by the stars, by the clouds, everything, because I just find it so beautiful. I find it a work of art. Heavenly. So you can get excited about different things. DM said it's simply a way of looking for extraordinary in the ordinary all around us. And I think that I also would add that sometimes extraordinary things is what we think of as ordinary things. I think it's ultimately what you're saying, but I don't think that we necessarily think of it that way. I think that people look for something amazing in order to label it extraordinary. Whereas, you know, you see bunch of life in the grass in your front yard. I mean, that's extraordinary. All the lizards and all the little insects, and look at the trees. Look at how trees are alive all the time and how they adjust to different seasons. I mean, like, this life, this world is extraordinary. That's amazing. And when you start having appreciation for it, it's better to live in it. Kaya, I made it back for the end. Typical me. That's wonderful. Thanks for being here. Glad you made it back. Uh-oh, we have some cupcakes. Here we go. Cupcake, baby. Cupcake, baby. Cupcakes. Here we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, it's a way of looking at it. But coming back to the cupcake, listen, sense of humor is your secret weapon. I don't care what gender you are. It does not matter. Listen, there's something, let me tell you, you can say whatever you want, but a woman who has sense of humor, she's automatically sexier. Just being honest. Just being honest. All right? This interaction is completely different when you communicate with someone who's relaxed, who's playful, who's funny, who can take a joke and who can say the joke, and who's not afraid to make fun of themselves. I mean, like, goodness gracious. Let me tell you something. You put a woman head to head with someone. Now, look, I understand there's like, we all self-conscious to an extent. So I'm not bashing people who are self-conscious. I get it. But the point I'm trying to make that there's something special about a person, in this case, a woman, who accepts her imperfections, who still embraces herself, and who is comfortable being in her own skin and not afraid to make fun of herself, not bash herself, not like disrespect herself. There's a difference. There's a difference between belittling yourself and really make yourself feel bad versus just being lighthearted and make fun of yourself when it's appropriate, and just have fun with it and not take yourself too seriously. So if you put somebody like that who is willing to be so open and and not to be too cool to make fun of herself versus someone who is a high class citizen, so to speak, right? For me, the girl who's not afraid to make fun of herself wins, because it's just, in terms of conversation, in terms of interaction, it's just easier. It's like, it's the point of connection. It is easier to connect with that person. Is boredom as a state of mind? Yes. I think I've said enough. I gave all the examples. I provided my take on it. We live in the best time ever in human history. There is never a shortage of things to do, whether directly or indirectly. If you want to learn, if you want to engage with people around your community, if you want to pursue a cause of some sort that is meaningful to you, if you want to be entertained, all of these opportunities are in front of you. Boredom is a state of mind. And how does it impact relationships? Easily. It impacts relationship because if one person in the relationship is willing to step out of their comfort zone and to lead, to plan, and to bring another person together, I think the sky is the limit. I think the sky is truly the limit at that point. My friends, This is a wrap. Great conversation. Loved every minute of it. As always, give me the hashtag prototypesfam. Put that hashtag in the chat, prototypesfam, if you're still awake, if you're still listening. While you're doing that, I'm going to acknowledge people who are here live. Remind what we're doing tomorrow, and we're going to be out of here. Put that hashtag prototypesfam in the chat. I want to thank DM watching from Germany for joining live tonight. Appreciate you, your interaction, your engagement. That's the word I'm looking for. Engagement. We have Ruby from United Kingdom. Thank you so much for being here. It's also late over there. We have some Europe here tonight. It's great to see you both here. We have Jamie in the house. Thank you so much for being here, Jamie. Appreciate you, my US prototype family. We have Felicia in the house. Thank you for being here, and huge shout out to you for your super sticker, for your continuous support. I appreciate you very much. We have Kaya in the house from New Zealand. This community is truly international. I can't get over it. We literally have 3 continents right now. Here, right now, we have 8 people watching. This is the power of what I'm talking about. We have 8 people watching right now, and we have 3 continents. Do you understand what I'm saying? 8 people, 3 continents. What? In what other time in human history would this be possible? This is not to be understated. This is the best time in human history where we can connect like no other time. We can connect with like-minded people from in thousands miles away within seconds. I mean, come on. This is incredible. Kai, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Appreciate the super sticker. Your support means the world to me. Thank you so much for being here and going back and forth between the meetings and engaging and hanging out live. Becky is here. Also, USA Prototype fam. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for all your feedback and thoughtful ideas. I really appreciate that. Heather is in the house tonight as well. USA Prototypes fam, thank you for being here live with us. Let's see. I think Jessica was here earlier. I'm not sure if she's still here. Bianca Allen was here earlier. Thank you for joining. Yes, Jessica looks like was here earlier. So thank you to every single one of you for stopping by and for hanging out. It was super cool. Prototypes fam, hashtag, you got to represent. I love that. Putting that prototype fam on the map, on the world map. This is the best thing ever. This is the best thing ever. The best thing in the world. This live streams is just like amazing. I'm kidding you not. Thank you for being here. Tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, we're going to talk about how to make any date a special experience. My DMs are open. Feel free to let me know your ideas or share your experiences, okay? With that being said, thank you to every single one of you for being here, for interacting, for sharing. As always, I want to remind you to always, it's relevant, right? It's relevant to today's topic, to practice these 3 C's, to always be capable, to always be curious, to always be creative, to avoid boredom. And no matter what you do, always remember to be grateful, my friends. Have a wonderful Tuesday. I'll be seeing you tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Don't forget the new video is on my YouTube channel. If you haven't seen it, it's dropped today. Check it out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments as always. I will be seeing you tomorrow night. Prototype family, take care. Russian Prototype is